Hello, everybody. I'm Gwen Squire, your host for Self-Advocacy in Action, and these are our very special guests, Max and Craig Donatelli. Hello.
Hello. Hi,
Glad to have you guys here today. Thank you for coming. Could you tell me a little bit about yourselves, Max?
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Max Donatelli, and I'm a parent, and I have been doing advocacy for individuals with developmental disabilities for a number of years, and I'm involved with the family committee for DAWNY, which is the Developmental Disability Alliance of Western New York. And we're a number of us are really trying to call attention to a number of issues, and we can talk about that a little bit later, some of the more pressing issues that our family committee is very interested in. And I've been working with a variety of different organizations, school districts, and so on over the years to try to see that individuals with developmental disabilities are able to be included, are able to in the school system, as well as being able to be able to get into the workforce and be productive members of society. And that's a big part of what we've been doing for a number of years. And Craig is, as he's gotten older, has really become a self-advocate himself, and that's a big part of what we really want to see Craig being able to do. We had it built into his school program. Advocacy was a real important part, how to be able to communicate, how to be able to get yourself out there, and so people know, you know, what the important issues are. So that's a big part of what I've been involved in.
Okay. Craig, tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
My name is Craig Donatelli, and I'm here for to talk about I am graduating at Frontier and also ECC College, and I wanted to be in the workforce, and I work in Denny's. Awesome. And I like it there. And I do is I clean dishes and I clean the bathrooms, and I always do is to say hello, good morning, or afternoon. And I have Tom Moore is a role play as my child coach, and Dave is role play as my boss, and he said that I am part of the team.
Awesome.
Yep.
You like it there, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now you also volunteer with us at West Seneca.
Yes.
At our workplace.
Yes.
What do you think of that? Do you like it out there?
Yes,
you
I
like
do.
Working with us?
Yes, I do. I like that Ron, that he always on Mondays that he always stops into our cafe, and he sometimes he brings donuts for all people, and he always did is one of the gluten-free donuts for me.
Right, because you need a gluten-free diet.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Right.
Max, you you were saying about being involved with many issues, and I know that one of the issues that was really interesting for me was the IEP issue, because I remember when I was growing up, it was very difficult for me to lean towards wanting that IEP because I didn't think it would get me very far. Right.
Well, that's a real, very hot issue in education right now. One of the roles that I have, and I'm actually just getting off of, is a panel called the Commissioner's Advisory Panel for Special Education. And actually, my last meeting is going to be at the end of this month. But one of the things that we've been doing over the past couple years is really trying to see that the IEP diploma could be replaced with something that is really more meaningful. And currently, what they have developed with State Education Department is called the Skills and Achievement Commencement Credential. And what it is, I mean, it's not a diploma per se that will be replacing the IEP diploma, but what essentially it's going to be a curriculum that includes the career and occupational skills standards curriculum, which really does help prepare individuals at different steps along the educational ladder about how to be able to think about those things in the future that you might like to do, what your interests are, and also asking a lot of questions and helping them to really be thinking about the workforce in the future, and also being able to try to show various kinds of competencies in those different kind of areas. And this right now is only going to be for the those students that are alternatively assessed, and those are the ones that have the most significant learning challenges. And so it will, they're looking at for the future about when they eventually take away the safety net, because they do have a safety net which does allow individuals to get a local diploma. They're looking at that second group, which they're kind of called, this was phase 1 with the alternative assessment kids, and that there's a phase 2. They're really right now looking at what that phase 2 is going to look like. You know, are they going to offer this particular credential to that group of students, or are they going to have something that could be a combination of that and being able to have, you know, be eligible for a diploma at some point. So there still is a lot of discussion that's going on in that particular area. Parents really do need to be actively involved and really pay attention to those issues, as well as the self-advocates, because otherwise there has been a real high pressure to have high stakes testing really be the measure of quality for education, and that isn't necessarily always the case. That there's a lot of different kinds of talents, there's a real lot of other kinds of skills and aptitudes that many students can have, that have various kinds of learning challenges, can really be able to go out into the workplace if they're really properly prepared, both skill-wise as well as attitudinally, and as well as self-confidence-wise. So a big part of what we've been trying to push for as parents on this panel, as well as when I was involved with New York State PTA, was to really see that there be multiple paths to a statewide diploma, so that more individuals would not be dropping out of school, would not having to be able to settle for something less, like was the IEP diploma. I think the IEP diploma, I think I know some of the people that helped to get it there in place. I think the intention was a good intention, but it really only measured essentially if the students were able to achieve their IEP goals, and if they attended school a certain number of days, which really doesn't tell an employer much of anything. And it really, I think in a lot of ways, is a disservice. When Craig graduated from Frontier, we actually did a pilot program which really included more of a portfolio assessment that really looked at the different kinds of internships that he was in. He was probably in about 14 or 15 different internships. Wow. He was able to see the kind of things that he liked, see some of the things that he didn't like, and was able to really be tested on different kinds of jobs. He worked with at Baker Victory, where I also work. He was able to be in the Way Cafe at Gateway. He was able to be involved in food preparation. He, and there was really, kind of a mini culinary program, and which really helped a lot. But there were certain kind of things in culinary that he wasn't as interested in, and so he found out some of the things he liked, as well as some of the things he didn't like. He liked being a part of a team. He liked being able to be with the public. So one of the things that we were very committed to is really helping to see that Craig was able to get what he needed preparation-wise from Frontier, as well as he did go to, as he mentioned, to ECC. He was in the People Inc. YALT program, and then was able to get a job coach. Did a number of interviews and was finally able to be hired with Denny's, which we're really proud of him. Seeing him in the workforce, where really he filed his first tax return this past past year. So which was really, we were really proud of that, and having our accountant, we were. Being able to, he's now a taxpayer, so our governor, Cuomo, will be happy that we have another taxpayer on the rolls. Unfortunately, one of the real challenges, though, that we have is that individuals with developmental disabilities and with disabilities probably comprise about 20% of the workforce, which is unfortunately very shameful as a state, that we are not able to have more individuals in the workforce that have developmental disabilities and disabilities. And that's a big part of what our Donny Family Committee is really trying to help to see, is that we really try to help increase the marketability of those individuals, improve the education programs, and really try to see that the services are there for job preparation, and that they're able to have the correct kind of services to be able to see that individuals with disabilities are able to be out in the community and be able to live, learn, work, and play with everybody else.
Okay, good. Craig, I know that you and your mom and dad and your sister Connie are very highly involved with self-advocacy.
Yes.
What got you interested and got you started with self-advocacy?
Well, actually, I went to a library. I went it with my dad, and then I talk about there is to be a good advocate, and I want to do is to be older enough to teach the kids to grow up, to get into a workforce, and I want that to, I want to have is if kids were to do that, and if when the kids were to do work like me, I would do is I think I want to be a good advocate, and I want to be a good citizen of America.
Now, I know from us talking at work, one of your goals, because you and I have this in common, is to move out on your own and be more independent, right?
Yes.
What are you doing to get ready to do that? Are you talking to your mom and dad about it, and are you, just talking about what you're going to need, what kind of services you're going to need?
Yes, I have goals to talk to my mom and to my mom and my sister Connie.
Okay.
Is to be on my own, and I have David and his friends, and we are going out to see an apartment, and her name is Helen Haynes. She's from the Expire, and we went out and we saw all 3 houses, and like one of them I really don't like, and but I would stick with the other house because it would be easier, because I will to hire my staff, and if I hire my staff, I will have to bring a lot of things there, or if I have to save money, I will go out and get stuff there. Like if I go to Walmart, because they help, and if I go to Lowe's and they help, I will call those 2, because if I go to a furniture, I go to a furniture place, and if I want to paint something, well, actually there is a painting company. Is a big truck, and they will come into my house and they will paint my room.
Awesome. Now, Craig, you want to share an apartment with your friends, right? You don't want to just live all by yourself, right? No. Right. That's an awesome idea, because then you guys can share the bills and stuff, right?